Hello and welcome to the stream. It's Sunday, so I'm firing up Clip Studio Paint and I am going to be drawing once more. I don't actually have a theme for today. Um, I thought I would do maybe a few prompts, um, maybe some suggestions if anybody has those. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and launch right into this as soon as I find my pen. So today I went to the Ren Fair. It was one of the first things that have gone out and actually done since COVID, etc. Um, Originally I had planned to go to the Ren Fair back home with a buddy, and of course that fell through because of everything. Um, and yeah, just a couple weeks ago, I was thinking, well, hey, do they have one where I'm at? Because that's kind of their jam. So looked it up. Lo and behold, they did have one, and I was like, oh, hey, cool. Um, I didn't get any sort of outfit together. I figure with 2 weeks notice, that wasn't time enough to do anything. But yeah, went out, had a lovely time. It was very warm. It was 90, I don't know, 94. But yeah, it was good stuff. So if my drawings end up being Ren Fair themed, that would be why. Um, yeah, it was a great time. 2 days. It was a 2 day event, but yeah, yesterday I ended up doing some errands, and so I wasn't able to go. But actually, I think I might draw. Um, so I went to go see the joust. Hello, Kat. Welcome. Happy Sunday. I was just talking about how I went to the Ren Fair and how it was warm, and also one of the first things I've actually gone out to do. Thank you. Um, so yeah, I think I'm gonna draw. I had actually sketched out uh, the scene of this happening because when I went to go watch the joust, I had brought my sketchbook, actually my watercolor notebook with me, and I was like, oh hey, it's the Ren Fair. It's a good time to draw stuff because it's the Ren Fair. So I ended up not drawing too much until I got to the joust because I was actually sitting down at that point. Um, we ended up having, so my section had, our knight was named Marcus, and he was kind of like a little sass bucket. As they were jousting, um, he had picked up the broken bit of his lance, and as he was passing his opponent, he just lobbed this 3 foot long section of lance and donked it off his opponent's helmet. It was very good. My section also had a bunch of, I mean, for lack of a better word, I guess frat boys. Uh, so we were also the most riotous section. It was great. It's like being at a pro wrestling match, except they're all wearing armor. So it was, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was like, wow, this is the most people I've been around in quite a long time. Um, but I mean, it was outside, super windy, uh, so it was good times. I don't know how to draw a horse. How do you draw a horse? Yeah, it was a good time. Really just wandering around, scoping it out. Um, I stopped by. I don't know. They were a musical group, but like a body musical group. So they were singing a bunch of dirty songs, and it was just three women who were just sort of going through their act, and it was. At first I was only going to just sort of stop by. But I was like, oh, what the heck? Like, let me stay for the whole performance, and it was actually a good time. So I think this Ren Fair was just a testament to, like, God, I haven't gone to something like this in quite a while. Holy cow. Um, but yeah, that was good stuff. Armored wrestling, armored pro wrestling is, I want to say, just our D&D game. I might have to do that. That's going to be my next one. I'm going to label my layer. WWE but armor. Which, again, I think is just maybe our D&D game. How do you draw knights? I took pictures of them jousting. I took video of them. I sketched them, for crying out loud. But how do you draw them? There's just so many bits. And then they're sitting on horses, which makes it even worse. Yeah, so I stopped by. They had, speaking of pro wrestling, they had a ring where they were actually, they weren't doing mounted fighting. It was just sort of melee combat. And it was just a bunch of dudes in armor just smacking the heck out of each other. And it was good stuff. I felt so bad for them because it was like 94 degrees and they were, they're basically in these big old tin cans. But yeah, none of them, they all seem to be properly hydrated, etc. But yeah, it was good stuff. So they were answering questions about, like, how do you get into this? How much training does it require? And it's insane how much a hobby like that cost. They were saying the guys were wearing like $4,000 worth of equipment. It's insane. And I envy them because it's like, dang, that'd be fun to do, but also, holy crap, money. Time. Alright, I don't know how to draw a helmet from the side. This just looks like the Mandalorian. When in doubt, just draw Mando. Did they have plumes? No, I don't think they did. They had very functional armor. It was good stuff. I liked our knight. He had attitude. He kept flipping off the other the other sections of bleachers. So very antagonistic toward everybody else. Gosh, what was I gonna say? Then I looked at the horse and got distracted because how draw horse? Oh yeah, so the guys who were doing the melee combat, who were different from the they were different from the jousting guys. Yeah, at some point they stopped actually doing the exhibition so the guys could get a break, and then for a small tip you could actually whack the knight with like one of their practice swords. So they had, there was like a whole bunch of people. There was one guy who was like 6 feet tall, and he just tucked his hands behind his back and just presented his breastplate, and so yeah, people just lined up and took 3 swings at him. I was like, this is, and he was like just standing there, just chilling. It was good stuff. I have been to a couple of jousts and have never seen one where they were like, yeah, go ahead, just take a pot shot at me, whatever. Yeah, this horse is done with his bullshit. It wants to go back and eat some oats. This horse is not interested in creative anachronisms. Honestly, I could picture the horses being over it too, because the jousting was inside like a fairground exhibition hall. I don't know. It's like a kind of like a rodeo ring. Which, for the sake of the horses, it was like, okay, good, they're not out in the direct sunlight, neither were the knights. Um, but yeah, I could just picture them being just like, yeah, screw this, I'm done. And the jousting was only like, gosh, I was in there for maybe 30 minutes. So, but yeah, people did tip the knights so they could give them a whack. Um, it was really cute because at one point, um, a couple of kids got up and the knight knelt down like he was on his knees so they could hit him. And every time they hit him, he would like fall over and be like, "Oh gosh, that like really hurt." And the kids are like, "Ah." So it was good stuff. Everybody seemed like they were really good sports about it, even though they were doing like 2-on-2 fighting. You could tell that even though they were kind of going like hammer and tongs at each other, sometimes literally, um, yeah, they would be just like yucking it up in between rounds. So it was fun. It was a good time. And again, the thought of just like, oh, hey, this seems cool and fun. And of course, folks want to get into it, but it's like, dang, but time and money and also some degree of, martial arts training. Let's see. His horse was probably antagonistic too. I like the horse did not actually do this, but I'm going to make the horse do this because I love when horses make that just cursed face. They pull their lip back and it's just like teeth. It's like you're either laughing at me or you're like threatening to bite me. I don't know enough about horse psychology to really know. But it's a good face. This horse is probably saying like F you or something like that. So, yeah, this scene was 100% real, and I won't say taken aback by it, but very medieval timesy of just guys just hamming it up, guys in armor just like having a grand old time. This horse looks wrong, but I am going to go with it. Yeah, excuse me, horse designer? Yeah, I have some notes. I think it's very bad when they do that. Yeah, like, the horse mouth looks normal, right? This guy's gonna be doing like he's done. Hey, Ten, welcome. You're here just in time, yes, for me to draw an anger horse. The horse was not angry in real life, insofar as I could tell. Both horses, I think, looked fairly indifferent, but I do think it's funnier if this horse is just like being a sass bucket, like its master, or its rider, anyway. Yeah, so I went to a Ren Fair, and I'm drawing a scene from the Ren Fair, which was 2 jousting knights, except the knight for my section threw a broken bit of his lance at the other knight's head, and it was really funny, because it went clonk, like bounced off. Alright. I have given up trying to draw the back end of this horse. It's too short. Oh, something else that happened. I remember what I was going to say. So I was wandering around, which I was actually doing the whole time, let's be real. I double back to the melee ring where they were having the guys in armor fight, and I see something flip into view over one of the far-off tents, and it was the arm of a trebuchet. And I essentially went like, oh, what is this? I wander over, and they have a trebuchet there that I hadn't noticed before. and they had just pulled the cord and like sent something flying off, and I was like, oh dang, that, I just missed it, and I was thinking they were doing demonstrations. So I go over, have a seat on one of the benches, and figure, you know, good time to hydrate because of the sun and the heat, etc. Guy comes over, or he's essentially talking to a group of people, and he's like, "Hey, sorry, we're out of demonstration stuff. I can't. We're done for today." And I was like, "Oh, that's a bummer. Like, what were you using to throw?" And he's like, "Oh, we were using like gallon jugs." And in my head, I'm like, "Dang, like, there's a straight up trebuchet here. Like, I've got a gallon jug of water in my car." And I told him, I'm like, "Hey, man, like, I wandered over here just because I didn't see it before, and I love a good trebuchet. I'm like, if you need something to demonstrate with, like, I'll happily go and grab, my stinking $1 gallon of water. I'll sacrifice it in the name of science and fun, etc." And then the woman who was with him goes into the tent. She was like helping him fire it off. Goes into the tent and is like, "Oh, like, I found one." And he was like, "Hey, like, did you want to, like, pull the, whatever, lever, the trebuchet?" I was like, "Oh, hell yes." So they load it up, and I'm, like, I'm getting out my phone, and he's like, "Hey, do you want a video?" I was like, "Oh, yes, please." So, she ends up taking the video, and I'm like, hee, trebuchet. So there's a rope attached to whatever, I don't know, little pin mechanism that held it in place. So he steps on it long enough, for me to get in position. I pull the thing. Little pin ricochets off and hits me in the shin, which, whatever, indifferent. It was just like getting a gentle kick in the shin. But yeah, send the thing rocketing off, and I'm like just grinning like an absolute idiot because I'm just like, hee, trebuchet. So it was good stuff. Yeah, I asked him, I was like, I forget what we were talking about, because again, I was kind of like shooting the breeze, like, dang, I'm not gonna get to see the trebuchet. But I was like, hey, like, have you heard of a thing called Punkin Chunkin? Which is the Mythbusters yearly sort of shindig of flinging pumpkins across great distances, if you haven't seen it. And he was like, yeah, I actually built this for Punkin Chunkin. And he had a little mini baby one too. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I got to get my nerd on at the Ren Fair. Got to pull the pulley, whatever system on a trebuchet. I got my money's worth. For sure. I was like, hell yeah, money well spent. There was a hot second where I was just like, man, it's gonna be so hot, and like, I know I want to go see the jousting, blah blah blah. Do I really want to go? And I'd missed Saturday, so I was like, well, whatever, I'll go. It's not that much money if I end up not feeling up to it. But yeah. Boy, am I glad I went to go see a bunch of folks dressed up in armor wailing on each other. But yeah, it was good times. I'm going to finish this drawing because I feel like I've been rendering out all of this armor for a century. Yeah, he did like a nice little flip. What did it look like? What does the broken end of a lance look like? I don't know, like this, maybe? Clonk. I didn't actually hear what he said, but this is what I imagine he said. Alright, so this was This was my my jousting experience. Medieval, so it really made me, I won't say miss medieval times, but it really made me just want, like, remember the time I went and go like, dang, that was, I don't I don't give a rip about historical inaccuracies. I just want to eat like a stinking metric ton of food with my hands and just scream my head off at armored guys, hitting each other with big swords. So, as is the rallying cry for the pandemic, when things settle down, I gotta find a medieval times or the middle US equivalent and just have a grand old time. Uh, yeah, this was very much those vibes. Yeah. So I'm taking, y'all can throw some suggestions in the chat. Otherwise, I might end up just drawing a bunch of Ren Fair related stuff because all of my streams are just stream of consciousness drawings. It's whatever I was doing last. Actually, I do have layer 2's labeled WWE but armor. So I'm gonna need, I don't know, I need some inspo on that. A cat has appeared and is calling for my attention. So if you hear him crying, it's because he is expressing his displeasure with management. I think I'm gonna do. So they did have kind of a cool. It wasn't a ring. Well, I guess a wrestling ring isn't technically a ring. But yeah, they had like little fenced off fighting area. Pot roast. People are saying hi to you. Where are you? Are you in your little blanket cave? Ugh. Okay. I think he came in, shouted at me, and then left. Which is about how things go around here. Disney Robin Hood shooting an arrow. Heck yeah. Gosh, I gotta rewatch that movie. My earliest memories of that movie are getting a copy from the library by my grandparents' house and the VHS just being like just shot to hell. So we weren't actually able to watch it. So every time I think of Disney's Robin Hood, it's always like the opening credit or the opening song, but it's all just like gray static. Oh, I'm glad to know I'm not alone in experiencing this. Owning a cat has really been a learning experience for me. Right? My Google search history is all just, why is my cat meowing? What does this mean? I don't understand. And most recently, why is my cat biting me? So the difference in cat body language, the difference between them and dogs has been, I think, very mystifying to me. And I've done my research, but there's times where it's like, boy, I super missed whatever that signal was. Yeah, I have to rewatch like a whole slew of movies and just to remember what they were like. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So I think I might do kind of what they had at the Ren Fair, which was two guys beating the hell out of two other guys. So 2 tag teams? That's a WWE thing. Ooh, maybe it'll be 3 guys. How many people are in a WWE tag team? Yeah, Pot Roast definitely likes to talk. he is a big talker, as his profile suggested. um, and yeah, I think I've gotten like the love nip thing, but then I've also gotten the like, you need to stop doing that now, or you need to play with me now, which is like apparently a thing. Like if they don't get a chance to vent off like their hunting instinct, right? Like if it's playtime and you missed it, which I've done. uh, they're like, okay, well I guess we're gonna chew on you now. And yeah, that's happened. Because either I was too slow in acknowledging the playtime, or playtime was not long enough. And yeah, got a big old chomp for my troubles. And I was like, okay, first off, ow. Second off, ow. Why? But it's fine. I have Googled, I have done my research. Trying to please my cat overlord. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he hasn't like broken the skin or anything, but it's still like, sir, that is my skin? That is my arm? That is attached to me? Okay, I'm doing this all wrong. So I am going to definitely play with him after the stream, because I like to sleep and I like my arm where it's at. Alright. Welcome to my stream where I lovingly render a fence for 3 hours and talk about my cat. Oh no! Yeah, I didn't realize, or had forgot, whatever, take your pick. Like, oh, cats are more sensitive than dogs, and if you pet their like body, like their back, they can get too much petting. They get overstimulated, and they're like, okay, that's enough. You missed the mark. I'm gonna bite you now and tell you to stop it. So I've tried to be cognizant of that, and I have pet his neck and his head and said, okay, I will stay away from the body. Thank you all. I'm glad you're enjoying my fence stream. Next time I may draw a garden. I'm spending all this time drawing the fence, and then I'm probably going to cover it up with a bunch of dudes or folks just fighting. I just like cats' faces just like split open when they yawn or bite. And it's like, I think I've definitely talked about the difference of this face versus just it turns into a piranha plant from Mario. Yeah. Every time Pot Roast yawns, it's like, yep, that is the face of a bear trap. You don't have to remind me what razor sharp teeth you have. Oh whoa, this is the face of a criminal. Yeah, so okay, here we go. Gonna cover up the fence with fighting folks. Alright, let's see. Oh, they actually passed around, one of the dudes who was like hosting / speaking was passing around a bit of his like shoulder armor and talking about, yeah, like the cost and what materials they used to make it. So I actually got pictures of like one of the pieces of armor. It was really quite fascinating because it's like, wow, imagine wearing this times, 50, because you've got other pieces of armor that you're wearing. Let's see, I think this guy's gonna be wielding a sword. But yeah, it was, watching the melee fight was both like, I guess, educational and entertaining. Because you see these like choreographed Hollywood fights where it's just like clang, 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 and they're doing ballet with their swords, and then you get something like this, and they're like just swinging stuff. I won't say wildly, but it's definitely like a little more rough and tumble than what you see in the movies. Yeah, at some point they're just straight up punching each other, gauntlet to helmet. It's like, I'm like, damn, why didn't I buy popcorn? But yeah, it's good stuff. God, I miss going places. I think my experience today was very definitely like, if you've ever been, like, hungry, like, haven't eaten all day, sort of thing, and then you go and have, like, whatever, sandwich, chips, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing I've ever had in my life. And it could be this, like, subpar thing, but you just haven't had it for so long. I was just like, man, I've missed, like, going out and doing, like, geeky stuff. Animal derived glue and fabric that couldn't get cut with a saw? Oh my gosh. That's insane. And also, I'm not surprised. Because just, I think, in a similar vein, just sort of seeing the discussion online of, think of all of the techniques that we can't either replicate because we don't have like the materials for it, or we don't have the knowledge for it. Again, it's just people getting stuff done in ways that we can't comprehend, simply because, yeah, we don't have the knowledge. Like, what was the thing about, gosh, was it Greek fire or asphalt or something like that, where it's like, we can't find the information for this. Nobody wrote it down because nobody thought they would ever have to write it down. It was just common knowledge. They made a big sheet of it and then couldn't cut it to size. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we need the accompanying knowledge of, what did they use to cut it? They made a saw out of animal glue. Oh, yeah, I remember what I read. It was, there was a museum that had this, like, prehistoric bone tool, and they were like, yeah, we don't know what this is for. We're just gonna call it, like, a prayer object. And because they showed it to a bunch of people and nobody could tell them what it was. Finally, they showed it to, like, I think it was a leather worker. And they were like, oh, yeah, that's a polisher. I use that all the time. It's the exact same. It looks exactly the same. Because we can't use metal because it messes up the leather. We can't use, whatever, plastic or something. They couldn't use anything else but bone. And so, yeah, it was like this perfect tool, and yeah, thousands of years old, whatever, millions of years old. So, history is cool in the context, at least for me, of like weaponry and artisanal tools. That's the kind of history I can get behind. Oh, the manager's back. What complaint do you have for me now? The art director has returned. Is giving me critiques. Alright, so I think someone is going to be perhaps... I'm going to draw someone punching this guy. Huh. That might be an explanation. It's like, we made a material that was so hard to cut because we didn't actually need to cut it. That's awesome. Again, it's like the whole idea of like the modern world doing things wrong, or like trying to replicate what we think they did in ancient times. Speaking of ancient times, I was watching an episode of Cowboy Bebop, which I finally got around to watching. And they went on the hunt for not a VHS player, a Betamax player. And they're just like looking at the cassette, looking at the tape like, what is this? Because the whole show takes place in like whatever, the middle of the millennium, 2000. So they're like pulling out the actual like tape, going like, this doesn't make any sense. What is this? So they go on like this basically archaeological deep dive where they have all of this like archaic technology. And they're like, okay, well, let's get... There was a whole rack full of old VHS and Betamax players. And they were like, well, like, we just gotta pick one. So they bring it back to the ship. Lo and behold, they got not a Betamax player. They got a VHS player and it wouldn't fit. So, and just speaking about all this like archaic technology, it's like, what do we have that 50 years from now, 100 years from now, they're just going to be like, the hell is this? How do you use it? And none of us will have written down any instructions for how to use it because everybody knows how to use whatever, an iPod or an external hard drive. It's good times. Gave this guy just like a really jacked left arm and then proceeded to give him a very delicate right arm. Yeah, I've got a floppy disk at my job, and I'm not talking about, well, I do have like the little whatever 3.5 inch ones, but in a box, a locked box, above my desk. Whoever had the job prior to me, which I think this thing has just been passed down from generation to generation. It's this clear locked box with 3.5 inch floppy, and then the classic like, what is it, 5 or 7 inch floppy, the genuine floppy disk. And me and my coworker were laughing about it because like we both remembered using it. But of course, like, to date myself, kids nowadays, or, anybody who's using technology now would be like, what the heck is this? And so just for lols, we looked up, is there even anything we have that could read that? And yeah, you can get a floppy disk reader on Amazon for like $20. But it's stuff like that where it's such a transient medium, like flash drives. Those are prone to dying too. So I go to a Ren fair, and then we get talking, we get philosophical about data storage. Yes! Oh my gosh, I saw the tweet. Some kid was like looking at the floppy disk, like, why did they do a 3D print of the save icon? And it's like, oh, no. I'm an old. Yeah, I remember using those old floppies to play like whatever word search games and Oregon Trail. Those were the days. Okay. So they did have a great axe. Well, somebody had a great axe. And they weren't exactly passing the great axe around, but they did let a couple of audience members. They were very free with sort of letting folks inspect their gear. It was really fun. But yeah, big old great axe. Gonna make these guys part of the scene because I'm amused by them. Let's see. I think I'm gonna give one of them a little wimple. Hello? Why is this not moving? The best part of the Ren Fair. Is this on a different layer? What did I do? Hey Dave, welcome. Welcome to the Ren Fair and digital storage philosophical discussion stream. Okay. Why am I not able to move this? Oh, maybe because I had the wrong tool selected. Imagine. Alright, I did say I was going to put a little wimple on one of these cats. The other one is going to be like a little punk and just yawning. Yeah, so the little angry oh face is going to be Wimple Cat. Yeah, shout out to everybody at the Ren Fair today who was like in costume because I was straight up just in shorts and like a tank top, and I was like, if I do not drink this gallon of water in the 3 hours I'm here, I am going to die of dehydration. But they had like water stations and whatnot set up, but yeah, folks walking around in full armor, just sweating it out, all for the entertainment of us commoners. Support your local Ren Fair. What's happening back here? What are you doing? Oh. The cat overlord has decided to lurk behind me once again. Alright. Yeah, our jousting section had like a cheerleader who was one of the volunteers dressed up essentially like this, so this is for you, jousting cheerleader. Okay, as I'm shading this looks more and more like a particularly aggressive nun. So maybe this is just a nun. Where does the white part go? Is it like this? Whatever, I'm gonna leave it all white. Speaking of nuns and fighting rings, go read Ursula Vernon's, Paladin's Strength. It has paladins, it has nuns, it has werebears, it has it all. Go read it. They're not werecats. They are werebears. Let's see. So I think this is going to be just like some random commoner. Nuns can absolutely enjoy jousting. I'm not here to gatekeep jousting. Actually, I think I'm going to have this cat tossing a giant turkey leg into its mouth. I did not get giant turkey leg because I had lunch right before going. With the express purpose of not spending all of my money at the Ren Fair. Ooh, nice. Yeah, it's a great series. I think there's one more maybe in the rotation that has yet to be written, but it's good. Go read all of her stuff if you haven't. This nun doesn't have any feet. I'm gonna give her just like little kitty feet. And let's see. I think I'm just gonna put one of the knights just kind of leaning against the fence. I have seen Knight's Tale. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen that movie in ages. Yeah, back in, high school, our English teacher liked to make us do, like, video projects when we were reading, like, Shakespeare. Which was actually, I think, a fun way of sort of making Shakespeare more palatable. But yeah, we did a medieval version of, was it Julius Caesar? It might have been Caesar. And the one thing I remember from that project was we had somebody who had like maybe 3 lines to remember, and they ended up not knowing any of their lines, so the continuity of our movie was afternoon, and then this character shows up and suddenly it's night, because that's how long it took for them to remember their lines. It was great. But yeah, as preparation for that project, we all sat and watched like Knight's Tale. And yeah, gosh. That was what, 1999? Somewhere around there? Or early 2000s, I don't remember. Just a great example of a movie that was like, you know what? Forget historical accuracy. We're going for rule of funny. And or cool. So don't they do The Wave at some point? 2001. That tracks. It would have come out just a couple years prior to us doing that project. With a David Bowie song, of course. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think, if I recall correctly, unless I'm thinking of, I may be thinking of Robin Hood Men in Tights, but like, don't they have like someone doing like the old 90s like yes, and like cranking their arm? That might have been Men in Tights. I may be conflating the two. But yeah, historical accuracy, never heard of her. Let's see, they've got to be wearing greaves. Yeah, this guy's saying like kick his ass. Yeah, so as they were sort of competing, once somebody got quote unquote knocked out, they would just slump there. But they were still, of course, conscious. But you could hear them saying, like, kick his ass, Trevor. And then the crowd would pick up on that and they would start encouraging the knights by name. It was very funny. I enjoyed it greatly. Like I said, the knights all look... The knights? Question mark? The, fighters all looked like they were having a great time. Definitely, much like WWE, the sort of Venn diagram between athleticism and performance. Alright, so he's gonna be... I don't know how to draw any other armor shapes. Like this? No, then he looks like he's smiling. There we go. The Nike joke. I don't remember the Nike joke from Knight's Tale. I don't remember much. For some reason, all I'm remembering is them, like, farting up in the rafters. Which, of course, that's what I would remember. Yeah, he's gonna be just sprawled out. Let's see. One leg still in the... that's not how legs work. Oh well. I have drawn myself into a corner. The perspective is all wrong. This arm should be like that. Yep. Alright. I feel like I have to put somebody on the other side now. We've got people on all sides except for this one. Also, there's a lot of people in this scene. Holy cow. There were like benches on hay bales. How do I draw hay bale? I'm not gonna draw anybody on it. Or will I? Oh, oh. Yeah, I think the more people I add to this, the quieter I get, because now I'm trying to actually fit people into... try to fit people onto the canvas. Oh no. Alright. She's gonna be like clapping. Yeah, I liked the sort of difference between this particular Ren Fair and the other one I went to. Just the difference in size, namely, and then, again, because there were slightly fewer people attending, they didn't have some of the stringent rules they had in the other one. They didn't have any wandering musicians. I know that's kind of a thing in the bigger ones. They don't want people like busking or like trying to play for money. But here, like, they had official, or not official, but like scheduled performers who did ask for tips. And it was like, here you go. I laughed. I was amused. Hey, that's worth a couple bucks. Toss a coin to your witcher and all that. Okay. And then, I don't know. I give up. I'm not drawing a whole bunch of people. When in doubt, draw little heads. So I don't know if anybody saw it was a tweet that was making the rounds. The background crowds in Star Wars: The Phantom Menace was not CG. It was literally just colored Q-tips stuck into grids. And someone had a close-up of it, and it blew my mind. Because they were literally just, picture what I've just drawn here, but they're all just like single colors, and so yeah, you just had a crowd of nothing but like those. And it was amazing. I mean, practical effects are sometimes I think just the way to go. The movie is like, what, 21, 22 years old? Never knew that. Never noticed it, because why would I? But yeah, what a good tidbit to learn about. Alright, we've got our medieval WWE with inexplicable cats. I don't know. Yeah, there's like an actual human person here, but then are the knights cats? We don't know. Let's see. We love knights. I can't spell. Alright, so here's my Q-tip crowd. The knights are many cats in those. Oh my goodness. Heck yes. I have to draw that. We're going to do anatomy of a suit of armor. The next one. Alright. Let me see. So we've got helmet. Gosh. How draw a helmet? I was looking at them all day today. Cat stacks. Yeah, they're all just Gundaming. Voltroning? I don't know. Behold, my one and only helmet shape. Actually, no, I could do this one. This one's even easier, arguably. Never mind, I know how to do 2 medieval helmets. They have the exact same eyes, though. Yeah, they were using this helmet as a collection plate. It was very good. All right. So shoulder. This is me trying to remember how do shoulder armor connect? Ugh. Yeah, because the melee guys were not wearing they were wearing like heavy outer armor, like they had pauldrons on, but then they were wearing gambesons, or like padded jackets with what I assume was a protective layer underneath, because the one guy who was getting thwacked sounded very solid. So there was something underneath them, but this was essentially what I saw. Arms. Get to drawing the joints of the armor, it's always like, how? How make? Actually, I think I'm gonna tilt this guy. He's gonna have his arm out. So maybe one is gonna be a normal knight and the other one's gonna be cat knight. They're like, why won't you ever take off your helmet? The fair's over. You don't have to worry about breaking character. He's just silent. Who's that? We only know him by Sir Whisker. He's never taken off his helmet, and he's never lost a fight. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna do what I did for my random, what was it, food-based superheroes. I'm going to do just like the main drawing, and then I'm going to do the X-ray vision on a separate layer. So I have to make an actual, perhaps good drawing first, and then I'm gonna mess it up by putting a bunch of cats into it. So yeah, this is the best fighter on the circuit. Nobody knows who they are. Why won't they talk to anybody? Don't know. Yeah, I have no idea what the shin. Let's see, they had thigh armor? Question mark. Definitely gonna put cats into it. Heck yeah. Alright, I think I've drawn the equivalent of medieval catcher's gear, and I apologize for nothing. And they also had, there were like studs on their jackets, but I'm not gonna immediately. I have given up. I'm not going to do it. Let's see. I'm just gonna put this hand down here. Alright, and this guy's gonna be like, trying to shoot the breeze with him. Sir Whisker is not talking. Alright. Whenever I don't feel like drawing somebody's armor, I always just throw like a tunic on top of it. It's just like, I can't be bothered with this. Have a tunic. Yeah, so it's just gonna be this tense silence. Actually, I think he's gonna be holding his belt like a cop. Yes, tabards. Love tabards. Number 1, to draw. Actually, no, number 1, I like how they look. Number 2, I like because they cover over a multitude of sins, namely armor. God, this guy's proportions are all off. Actually, here's the twist. The guy on the left is just a bunch of cats in armor. The guy on the right is just like a bunch of dogs. Well, he's talking, so maybe he's just parrots. Yeah, my favorite trope is, I won't even say it's my favorite trope, but I really like the trope where it's like, you have somebody who's armored and people think that they're one thing, and then like the helmet gets knocked off, or they take off their helmet, blah blah blah, whatever, and it's like, what a twist, it's exactly the person or thing that we were not expecting. Alright. And they're friends, yeah. They haven't exchanged any words, but they are buddies. Alright, I'm gonna do, this is gonna be, I'm gonna call this pilots. But neither know who the other, what the other is, yeah. And then when all is revealed, they have to make the tough decision. Do they stay friends, or are they enemies? Alright. What's a good color to do a bunch of cats in? Well, that's my eraser. Might help if I did pen. There we go. Alright. Oh boy. Okay. I think, should I turn this down? I'll turn this down a little bit. Alright. Obviously we've got one cat who is the pilot. Not the pilot, but like the eyes. And I figure they're going to be doing the thing that cats do, where their eyes just get like super dilated. They have to see out of this tiny little slit. So they're probably going to have some sort of like cheerleader pyramid structure happening. So I think, yeah, we're going to have like 2 here. There's going to be some dead air as I attempt to spatially detect where the cats are going to go in this suit of armor. So there's one here in the torso. Actually, no, there's gonna be a few here in the torso. The ones up top are just getting mushed because of the helmet. Helmet cat does not care. Helmet cat calls the shots. I just figure, like pug-like, they're just wrinkling their forehead down. The the mongrel geese and the catulets is very good. I think if somebody hasn't done a cat version of Shakespeare, they should. Actually, I think they've had like a manga version of some Shakespeare stuff. They've had like a Twitter version. If Romeo and Juliet were on Twitter. So many efforts to make Shakespeare palatable. So I think the cats in the torso are like sardined in there because they have to fill out the armor. I don't know. I think cats like they're like tucking themselves into like weird little places, so maybe they're not even like that angry about it. They just don't like being sat on. Which I know because someone tried to steal my seat this week, and I said, okay, you want to play that game, let's go. And I promptly went to, sort of fake sit on him. And he let out like this tiny little squeaky meow, and I was like, yeah, that's right, get out of my seat. He called me on my bluff. He did not move. So I just dumped him off my chair. I was like, get out of here. It's my chair. Happy Squish Kitties. Yes, this is Cat Voltron. Yeah, I don't even know what's gonna be happening here. I think it's just like one cat that's like loafing. This cat does not even care. This cat's just having a good time. Can't see a damn thing that's happening, but does not care. It's just happy to be included. And then these guys, I think, are sitting on top of him. Nothing about this makes sense. But that's okay. I think the real question here is, how many cats can I fit into this suit of armor? And the answer is quite a few. So I think, obviously, these cats have to be doing a sort of piggyback. In order for the knee joint to even make sense. And then, I don't even know, they're like sitting inside the foot. Oh boy, let's see. Oh gosh, I feel a sneeze coming on. I apologize in advance. Excuse me. I think sneezing nowadays for me has turned into the dilemma of, like, do I hold it in? Thank you. Do I hold it in and just obliterate my lungs? Or do I just, sneeze? It's 50-50 nowadays. Alright, so we've got... Thank you. These guys. This cat in the right leg is determined to do some crimes. And this cat did not enter into the armor properly. And so now it's just kind of like loafed in here. Cats are liquid, so this cat is demonstrating said liquid properties. And I think there's like one more cat. I think I've just given up. This cat also has entered into the ship wrong. Yeah, its front half is back there somewhere. All right. Oh my goodness. What if I just did one real long cat for each arm? And then I think their little paws are manipulating the fingers. Yep, there we go. Not quite sure how this one is gonna work. Hey, welcome! Welcome to the stream, Grace. So, I am drawing cats in a suit of armor because I went to a Ren Fair today. That is the story. I forget how exactly we got here, but we're here. There are some shenanigans happening with this thumb that I'm not going to explain. You're just gonna have to use your imagination. Okay, this cat's having a grand old time, doing his job. Okay. So here's the original armor, and then the cat's inside. Oh, I've got to finish out some of these lines, but wow, that's horrifying. I hate it. Okay, I'm gonna bring this back. Because I gotta draw the dogs in the other suit of armor. Did we say dogs? All right, let's see. So I think I'm gonna do a dog with the smushiest of faces. That's the only thing that's gonna fit into this helmet. Gotta be a bulldog. Bulldogs are just wrinkles and jowls. I could do a tiny Pomeranian. That'll work too. In fact, I like that. I'll put the bulldog down here somewhere. The bulldog is the entire chest cavity. Let's see, they've got a little squirt nose. Many wrinkle. Actually, they do look kind of smiley, I think. Because they're always panting. So this one is just going to be here. Also, someone at the Ren Fair had just the biggest dog. It was like a wolfhound. They were, I believe, one of the vendors, and their dog's head was not level with the table, it was above the table. The dog could have just snagged any food sitting on the table it wanted. No problem. It was massive. Alright, this guy's gotta go up. So my aunt has a tiny little... She's a Pomeranian slash... I don't know. Not Bichon. It's the other little floofy dog. And she's just the craziest little protector. It's like, you weigh perhaps, 6 pounds. Calm your entire self. And she's like, nope, I gotta fight. I gotta protect my family. Her name is Hurley, and she is fierce. That's all I could say. Oh, hello. Are we not in the correct tool? And the answer is no. Alright, so Pomeranian's up here. The pilot, as it were. And then I gotta think of what else we could put in here. Small dogs are, yes, full of anger and pork. Yeah, Hurley is 90, well, I want to say 75% anger and 75% Bork. I know the math doesn't add up, but neither does she. Yeah, she attack, she protect, she want snack, and that's it. Alright, I think... What's gonna be here? I think this has gotta be, like, a wiener dog. Just a little wiener dog trying his best to be an arm. I'm trying to think. What can we put in the forearm? I'm not quite sure, so I'm going to move on to the bulldog. Actually, I'm very tempted to put just like a full-size dog. But it's going to be walking on its hind legs. And just, there's going to be one of its legs in each of these legs. So this is going to be a full golden retriever. Oh my gosh, who's like hunched over? Yes, it's true. Poor wiener dogs. No arm, no legs to speak of, and thus arm. I do like wiener dogs, if only for the fact that because they are so small, or rather their legs are so small, you can get away with walking them a little less. Because, you know, half a mile, that's practically a marathon for them. Alright, so we've got the bulldog, I think, is just sort of backpacking on the back of this not wiener dog, golden retriever. The golden retriever is, I have taken some creative liberties with its proportions. Also, golden retriever, peak friend, maximum friend, friendliest of the dogs. Alright, I think there's another wiener dog over here, but we're not seeing much of him. Or her. Because they're tucked behind. Okay. Now for the final reveal. What does this look like minus armor? Oh my gosh. It's a monstrosity. Oh no. Let's see. Whoops. I feel like I have to add in some of these lines just for it to make slightly more sense. Not that it was going to make any more sense to begin with, but yep, this is something, huh? Yeah, I'm not quite sure. What is happening? This poor golden retriever is just being slowly condensed under this bulldog's weight. Because there's something happening up here in the torso. But there we have it. My masterpiece. 2 definitely normal nights. I'm just having a chat. But they're actually they're just full of animals. Oh man, thank you all so much for this. This was both fun and horrifying to draw. Alright, I'm gonna hide this for my own sake. I'm gonna just real quick draw a sword. I am also delighted and just perhaps living in fear of what I have created. Well, we've all created it together. And for that, I have you all to thank and to blame. Sword. This isn't going to make it any better. Except now we just have this cat looking like it's ready to commit some crimes with his big old sword. Alrighty. Um, this is Ren Fair 2021. Cats in armor, dogs in armor. Nice. I'm moving on to the next thing, which, if I recall correctly, was Disney's Robin Hood, shooting an arrow. And the twist, he's just full of cats. No, I think I'm gonna do it normally. I'm not gonna make him full of cats. Yeah, it is a bummer. Um, yeah, they, as is par for the course with all things out here, it was still on. But yes, I hope to go to the one back home in 2022. Might actually have a costume for it. Who knows? All right. Um, Disney's Robin Hood is a fox. He's got triangle face. Yes, someday. Yeah, if this Ren Fair had been as big as the one in LA, oh, I definitely would not have gone. But I knew there was going to be enough open space. Yeah, the Irwindale one. Actually, there were a couple of plague doctors at this one, and I was like, "Yep, uh huh." That is Irwindale is at the dam. That was a fun one. I really liked that one. Okay, I don't know how to draw Disney Fox, so um I think I'm not going to draw it canonically Disney. So I was gonna say I apologize in advance, but we know the truth. I don't apologize for anything. I'm not gonna be sorry for this. So consider this your warning for whatever I'm about to draw. Um, if you saw, gosh, was it last week or the week before that? Um, yeah. Then you know that my frame of reference for drawing anthropomorphic characters is while it may have been maybe jump started by Disney, I draw them a little differently. So we'll see how we'll see how this turns out. How do you fire an arrow? Gosh. So one thing I could say for out here is they have archery is a thing. You could do like bow hunting, etc. I want to do it. I want to give it a shot. 2022 Ren Fair Reloaded. Yeah. Yeah, I seriously want to be back there for that one because I've got a joint costume with our good buddy Evie. So yeah, this time around I was definitely like, yeah, I'm not gonna kill myself to try to get this costume finished, but hey, by next year, I could definitely work something out. Yeah, I've heard that shooting a bow is like it works muscles that you're not like usually aware of. Like you have to use like a resistance band to do a little pre-training. A buddy of mine went to go shoot bows. And they were like, yeah, use this one. And it was like 130-pound draw weight. And she was like, I can't do this. I'm like, that's your body weight, man. Like, get something else. Okay, I don't know where he's aiming. We've already established I don't know how fire arrow? Oh, that doesn't look right. I'm gonna go with it. Yeah, they also have the, what is it, the compound bows, where it's like you can basically just draw with a pinky, and it's no big deal. Yeah, this isn't how you... That's not what that's supposed to look like. Listen, Disney's Robin Hood was an anthropomorphic fox. I'm doing an anthropomorphic fox. Give me a second. You're looking at the process. Maybe make the bow longer. I can make the bow longer. Whoops. It's a short bow. It's a short bow because I wanted to fit on the page. Wait. Yeah, that's up there somewhere. Alright. Time to resize. Disney's Robin Hood. Draw this in your style challenge. Heck yeah. I'm not drawing canon Disney. I am drawing I'm drawing a fox firing a bow. That is only vaguely related to Disney's Robin Hood. Yeah, because he also, if I recall, he was like Donald Ducking it. Which, that's a design choice that I just can't get behind. I'm just like, no, I can't. They gotta wear pants. So I'm doing a version that has pants. He could still be, what is it? Kind of with these sort of legs. He's gonna have pants. 50-60 bucks for a 2-hour lesson is not the worst. I think that's actually kind of reasonable. If it includes, like, equipment rental and whatnot. He had a long tunic. Yeah, but I think he still didn't have pants. My personal... I won't say pet peeve. My personal design aesthetic is... Yeah, I'll give them pants. This is Robin Hood's cousin. He said this is Robin Hood adjacent. I'm changing the design brief. Let's see, he had pants for Namak, yep. This is a fox that has definitely worked for the Goliaths in the past. Robin pants. I don't know how to draw Disney eyes. Are they like this? I don't know. They're like triangles. Also, he had eyebrows. Don't they have eyebrows? This is me, somebody who has grown up watching Disney movies and can't recall for the life of me what a Disney eye looks like. Like I said, or like Kat pointed out, draw this in your style. I'm trying. Let's see, he had a hat. Little Robin Hood hat. Ugh. Eh. Golly. I think his ears poked through it. Yeah, this is not Disney's Robin Hood. This is the store brand Robin Hood. Oh wait, you use two fingers to fire? I don't know. Is the domesticated version. It did have a feather. This kind of looks like he's pointing, or it looks like he's wearing a like a paper hat, like the little paper hat you would fold. Thank you, 10. Yes, Dave, I do think this is the Ren Fair. Listen, this is the alternate universe take. This is cosplay Robin Hood. Good golly, how do you draw a feather? Henley with cargo pants. I am trying to get I was trying to get the sort of form of whatever clothing he was going to be wearing. Much like my default, I don't know, it's like muscle memory. I default to drawing certain types of things, and yeah, Henley is definitely the clothing item that I default to quite often. Yeah, he had a tunic on, but how would it sit? I think it would fall a little lower, maybe? I think I have given him a slightly more substantial torso than the Disney version. I will not be making any changes. Pub crawl at Ren Fair and then throwing axes. They had a throwing axe trailer booth at this Ren Fair, and I was very tempted. But I had wandering to do. Whoops, bye. I have not actually gone to throw axes before. I definitely have to give it a shot. There is an axe throwing place here in town. Haven't been. Not yet. One day. It looks like a lot of fun. I definitely want to give it a shot. Alright, I know there's a proper way to hold a bow, and that this ain't it, but I don't care. I will not be changing this. He doesn't have an arrow. Field trip to go axe throwing. Hell yeah. There's actually, now that I think about it, there's actually there's an axe throwing league at that same axe throwing place, and no joke, I looked at the page and was like, this actually seems kind of cool. But alas, I don't think I have someone who would join my team. Not out here. So, something I'll have to hold off on. But yeah, it's like a whole league, I think, that goes for a couple months. Let's see. He had that deep V-neck. I'm gonna give this bargain basement Robin Hood just like a slutty open V-neck. Like I said, this is the Ren Fair version, anything goes. He's gonna have a belt with some pouches, as is common at Ren Fair. Ren Fair is your excuse to wear all the pouches you want. Axe Street's back. Oh gosh, so good. Get out. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Absolutely seconded. Because let me ask you a question has, I'm sure, been done already. Yeah, this is the energy that the D&D group brings. All the puns, no remorse. Just remorseless punning. Alright, I'm gonna do the sort of belt wrap, because that's cool and fun. Let's see. What else? He probably has a quiver, but I don't know where to put it. Put a pager. Yeah, he's got his cell phone. He's got his cell phone tucked up in here. This is modern Ren Fair, Disney's Robin Hood AU. So I think this is just Zootopia. I mean, yeah, he's gonna have his phone here. It would be on the right if you have a quiver. Alright, we're gonna Breath of the Wild it. We're gonna put it right here. Or do we want to put it over the back? His phone is on. He's probably butt dialing his mom or something. Ren Fair, Robin Hood in Zootopia. Is this Nick Wilde? Is Nick Wilde Robin Hood's cousin? Did we just conspiracy theory Zootopia? Not for amateurs, not on the back. Oh, this guy knows. This is Robin Hood's cousin. He knows how to shoot arrows. Oh god. How do cylinders work? I feel like if I'm not saying, oh god, how do I draw X, then I'm not doing it right. So, I'd like to thank you all for making me, for pushing me to draw things I'm not familiar with. For not letting me steep in complacency. Because left to my own devices, I would just draw nothing but buff dudes and Henleys. Facing 3/4 to the left. That's gonna be my next stream. Only things I'm good at drawing. I've mentioned this, I think, multiple times. This is my wheelhouse stream. Alright. I am vaguely aware that there is a way that archery quivers and harnesses should look, and I have elected to ignore all of them. Is it Sid? Sid the Sloth? Okay, so if I've drawn Nick Wilde, which they didn't wear shoes, did they? I don't think they wore shoes in Zootopia. Or some of them did. I don't know. He's not gonna have shoes. He's just a barefoot archer. Oh gosh. Foxes have little white tips on their tails, right? Yep. And they've got like these little black gloves. So we're gonna have DMV Sloth in here. Yeah. I think I could fit. I got 15 minutes. I could fit. I could fit a few more Zootopias in here. Um, yeah, my next stream is gonna be. I have a pleasant time and don't say, "Oh God, how do I draw this?" at all. Not once. Ice Age. Uh, I'm gonna draw Judy Hopps. I think there were definitely bunnies in Disney's Robin Hood. I don't remember what Judy Hopps looks like. I think she was just like a bunny with the determined OO face. She had like big eyes. Um yeah. I was gonna say she has the face of I'm gonna do crime, but that was not her character. She had the face of I'm gonna stop crime. Oh, Sid was Ice Age. Got it. Nope, you're right. You're absolutely right. Who was Flash? Flash was the sloth. I remember now. That was whole the whole joke. I was like, I know they say his name so many times. I don't remember what it is. I can neither remember things in my daily life nor with the added pressure of trying to draw. It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. I'm just gonna draw a generic bunny because I don't know, she had like eyelashes. The one thing Zootopia did was all of the sort of female coded things they put on furry characters, they did not do. And I was like, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for not doing that. I think she had gray fur, I think, but we're gonna leave it like that for now. Actually, I think it'd be really funny if she had like a wimple. More wimple. Gosh, how do you fit wimple on round bunny head? I don't know. I was gonna say, I know there were bunnies in Robin Hood because wasn't there one point where the sheriff was collecting tax and the bunny father was just like, oh please no, not my single gold coin. And it was just like, dang, what a crapsack world. Okay, because I don't feel like drawing another stance like this, she's going to have already fired her arrow, so I don't have to draw another arrow. I refuse. She's gonna be wearing like some sick robes. Okay, good. I wasn't like hallucinating the bunny family. It's like I'm pretty sure this was a thing. If my childhood recollections of this movie are accurate. Okay. I was not permitted to draw a short bow before, and now I will. I'm drawing a tiny bow. She has the short bow. I got my way after all. Ha ha ha. So she's gonna have just big old sleeves that I'm sure are not period accurate. I don't care. Actually, I feel like square collars were a thing. So I'm gonna add that in. don't know too much about medieval fashion. I just have like an understanding of its overall vibe. I'm like, this is probably not for real. But y'all know what I mean. It's worth noting she's standing in front of the line. She's cheating. Pew. This is going off screen. Okay. What did I say? What were we talking about? The sloth? Can I fit the sloth in? I'm sure I can. I think I'm gonna fit it in right on the far side. Okay, I drew a grid and promptly ignored it, as is usual for most of my guidelines. Let's see. Oh god. How do you draw a sloth? I know his eyes were like this. I think once I get the eyes, everything else will fall into place. He just had a very friendly face that was not going anywhere in a hurry. That's a sloth, I think. Sloths have ears, right? Tiny little ears like this, maybe. So I think he's also going to be wearing a little Robin Hood cap. I feel like I didn't make the Robin Hood cap jaunty enough. Needs more jaunt. And he's gonna be still... Oh, excuse me. They have eye patches. So like black eyes? Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to look up a picture. I was gonna say Sid the Sloth, and I know that's wrong. It's alliteration. Alliteration is my downfall. I think he's going to be still like holding the arrow. He hasn't even gotten into position. He's like, oh, is it my turn to shoot? They're like, dude, you've been up for like a half hour. And I imagine drawing the bow takes, I don't know, 8 hours. Sloths have little feats that are of no consequence because they just don't need them. Not for their lifestyle, so he's gonna be wearing like a friar tuck situation. He's also gonna be manspreading. So this is Friar Tuck Summer Edition. Okay. You know what? Just for funsies, I got 6 minutes. I could either add some shading onto this drawing, or I could crank another one out in like 5 minutes. I am very happy with how this turned out. Friar Flash. Alright, I think I'm just gonna add some shading on here. Why rush? If Flash has taught us anything, it's, listen, sometimes you just gotta slow down. Okay. Mm, let's do a nice green. Or bluish green. Let's see, what does this look like? Oh, heck yeah. So he's going to be wearing... Robin Hood wore green, right? We'll go ahead and fill this in. So thank you all for joining me on this journey through, I would say, time, because of Renaissance Fair. Yeah, I didn't exactly plan on this, but I'm not surprised that this kind of happened. I want to say this is actually fairly tame for a final drawing. I think usually the last drawing kind of goes off the rails. I'm actually really happy with this, and not even slightly horrified one bit by it. A journey through medieval times, yes. It is a journey through medieval time and medieval space. Actually, that should be colored in too. Alright. I'll go ahead and shade these guys in. Let's see, do foxes have white muzzles, I think? I'm going to say yes. Alright, he has a phone. I will leave that be. Why am I coloring stuff in? Use the lasso tool. Save time. I'm not in a rush, but I do want to save time. I gotta color in Friar Tuck. Friar Flash. The angle on my drawing of Flash reminds me of Po from Kung Fu Panda. Inexplicably. Okay. I told myself I wouldn't look up reference, but I break. Gotta look up a sloth. I feel like there is a subtlety to the coloring that I'm not picking up here. Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, I knew they had some form of, like Kat was saying, they have the little eye patches, but I just didn't know the exact configuration. There we go. My gosh, you can't even see their ears. Oh well. Alright, rounding the bend on the last minute of the stream, I'm going to go ahead and rush through the coloring, and I will have to clean it up later. Maybe. I always say I'm going to clean up my stream drawings, and it's always like, I make like 5 or 6 drawings per stream, and it's always kind of overwhelming thinking about fixing all of them. So I think this is a what you see is what you get. What I do on stream is what goes online, for the most part, unless it's something really egregious. Alright. Well, I think that's it. I think I'm pretty happy with that. All right, it's 10 o'clock. It's time for the recap. I'm gonna hit save. Get this done. Move my sloth window out of the way. And let's take another trip through medieval time. You all know. You're here. You're here at the stream. We started with a knight on a cat, and that would eventually set the tone for, I think, the rest of the stream. Truth, this actually happened today. One of the knight for my section, threw broken lance at his opponent. He did not actually say that, I don't think. Which inevitably leads to a recreation of the melee arena, with some artistic liberties taken, namely the amount of people, and also there were no cats in nun garb. Oh. This drawing, I think, is two parts, and so needs a little explanation. What did those knights look like under the armor? Just cats. Cats and dogs. Probably. Definitely. And finally, a very non-Disney take on Disney's Robin Hood. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you all for giving me some good feedback and suggestions on what to draw. It's always fun drawing with folks weighing in on what's going on. So yes, thank you all so much for coming. Hope you enjoyed. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you all later. Bye.